Hello, everybody. My name is Tasha. This is my husband, Sean, and we have this very small cake company called Cakealicious. We run it out of our home bakery in our basement, so we get to be at work all the time, which is great and not so great sometimes, but you know, it works for us. So Sean helps me immensely with the things like delivering. He's an amazing artist. He helps with colors and painting, things that I can't construct. So he is going to pass out, while I talk about these display cakes, he's going to pass out, since the things I wanted to go over with you guys are very visual, it's hard to describe cake designs. So he's going to pass out some pictures we're going to kind of talk about with the trends. And then while he does that, I'm going to talk about these little cakes here, which are, we're going to actually cut these up and serve these as soon as we're done, so you guys get to taste some things. So there we go. Okay, so this first one, the vintage look is, I mean, how gorgeous is this? I love this. So this little cake here is done in fondant with fondant lace appliques, and this is actually one of the most popular designs. We'll go over this a little bit later, but the lace is such a popular thing right now in all sorts of different ways, from fondant to actual lace on a cake. So this one is also a great example of something that's also very popular, which is a small cutting cake. A lot of people are doing like these beautiful cupcake displays, and a lot of brides just want a cake that they can just cut, that they can just have the pictures, just cut, and then the guests get to help themselves throughout the night with a cupcake. So this is just a fun little way to show how gorgeous a simple tiny cake can be with cupcakes. And we can do them in two-tier cakes, but this actually is a look that I've been seeing a lot more lately. So this one he's going to cut up is a key lime coconut cake, one of my personal favorites. So now we're going to move over here to the classic look. This is okay, I say damask. I've actually Googled it. Some people say damask. Who says damask? Okay, who says damask? Okay, I think I'm in the majority, but I Googled it one day, and it was almost 50-50, but I say damask, so sorry if I'm offending anyone who says damask. But damask patterns are so popular. They have been for a while now, and I think they're going to continue to be, because this is a really classic pattern, but they're coming out with more and more lacy damask patterns, filigree damask patterns, and it's usually just a stencil that you do, so you see the same pattern repeated on cakes a lot. But what I love about it is the colors. You can go tone on tone, you can go, you know, really contrasted black on white, and just a simple damask cake like this with the flowers on top, such a classic look, and this I think will continue to be one of the more popular looks in weddings. This one that he's going to cut is orange dreamsicle, orange with vanilla bean. The last one over here is, hopefully you can see it. He's this tiny little guy over here, and I think he's adorable. But this one is the modern cake, and it's modern. Modern is something to everyone, but this one is just, I hope everyone can see that. What I like about this one is, again, something we're going to go over is if you can see, there's a height difference. This one is a little bit taller, and then the shorter tier on top. And we went modern with this just by keeping it really, really simple, not overly decorated, the muted colors. And modern cakes are definitely not for every wedding, but I think they're starting to become more popular. And so yeah, I mean, you can go just, I've seen very plain cakes that are modern cakes, or just adding just a little tiny simple detail is a fun way to get that. So this one is one of our more popular ones for summer. It's root beer float. So hopefully you guys will get to try all these. I bring a little bit more unique flavors when I do bridal shows, expos, things like that, just because, you know, obviously we have chocolate, we have red velvet, we have those flavors that are classics, but these ones are kind of fun, and most of the time people end up really loving them. So he's going to go ahead and take these back and cut these up and bring you guys all a sample of those. So I'm going to let Sean go ahead and start doing that. And so before I talk about what we've got in the packets there, these are some display cakes, meaning they're fake inside. These aren't actually real, but the fondant on the outside is real. So this little guy here is kind of along the lines of the lace applique. it was done to mimic a dress. And a lot of brides love to do that, love to incorporate some sort of element from their dress, whether it's lace, ruffles, pleats, things like that. So this is just a little, of course he calls it my petticoat cake, but I think it looks like a dress. But yeah, it's just made with fondant. It's just ruffles, and you can do it all ruffles. You can get really kind of just do one layer in ruffles, but it's just kind of a technique that is very unique. And for the right bride, it would be just a cake that's going to definitely get some attention and stand out. And this other one is another damask cake. This pattern, again, is kind of more of a lacy damask, but this height where you've got a really tall kind of, we call them towering cakes. There's There's very little difference between the tiers, where you can see like these ones, there's a wider difference. So they're wider, they're more traditional, this shape here. This one, they're a lot narrower, and we've actually gone where these are 6 inches, and then a 4-inch layer, and then a 6-inch layer. So you're kind of combining the heights as well. So this one I think could also kind of go on the modern look too. Very popular, this kind of look going on right now. This is kind of another version of the lace cake, but in a much bigger cake. And then fondant bows. Fondant bows are always really popular. You can add beads to them, brooches. That's one thing that is really in right now too, as cake jewelry, brooches. One of the things that I love about doing an actual brooch, it's not edible, obviously, but it's something that a bride can keep as a little memento from her cake, where the cake is just, you eat it, it's over, it's done. And I've had brides that say, yeah, I'm going to wear this to church next week, or I'm going to keep it in my box and show my daughter that this was the brooch from my mom, or from her mom's wedding cake. So brooches are fun because they just add that little sparkle and bling. And who doesn't love bling? I love bling. I'm not a blingy girl, but when it comes to cake, I will bling out a cake like no other. And then this one, I bring this one. This is kind of my little showstopper cake. It's not for every wedding. It's very unique. But it just is, it shows a few things. It shows that you don't have to have a traditional wedding cake. You can do something totally unique. I've had some brides really want to do this and add like rings or a Cinderella slipper or something on the top that makes it a little more wedding-y. And then I've had some brides that are doing like Alice in Wonderland and thought, oh, this would be so great with like a teapot or something like that. So, but it's great because it shows different textures. You can do this pleated look, quilting, and it doesn't have to be done on a pillow. It could be done on a round cake, a square cake. So this one's fun to just show all sorts of different things, from shapes to textures that you can do on cakes. So these are just some bigger ideas that we can see in actual cakes. So now we're going to start on the little packets that we have handed out. I'm going to put this back here. Okay. So again, going back to the damask patterns. Damasks, like I said, they have been really popular, almost to the point that there has been times in heavy wedding season that I say, if I have to do one more damask cake, I'm going to scream. But I actually love them because you can just do them in so many different colors. Like the blue and gold one on the one page is it's just stunning. It's beautiful. Black and white is always a classic look. You can do these in, make them really wacky, really crazy, and just also just the very classic look, just add some flowers on there. So damask, I think, will continue to be a really hot trend in weddings, and hopefully one that you won't look back on and go, what was I thinking? Like some of these other ones that I think you do. I know with my wedding cake with the lattice and the little pipe flowers, but that was in back then. So